Filming vlogs is simultaneously the easiest and most difficult type of content to post on YouTube. It's easy because you're literally just capturing the world around you, just capturing what is happening in real time, but it's the most difficult because you have to film in public. You're going to be around people, you're going to be doing the things that are the most uncomfortable. So today, I'm going to show you how I vlog and actually finish it. I'm headed to LA for the next 2 days because I got invited to an early access screening of The Odyssey, which is playing in this old theater in Glendale. So I figured this was a great opportunity to bring the camera along, shoot a vlog, but more importantly, kind of show you what I do throughout these vlogging processes to actually finish the video. So this will be part vlog, part me showing you some tips and tricks on how to get through it. And hopefully by the end of this video, you will feel comfortable enough to finally go out and shoot that vlog for yourself. I need to get on the road right now, but first I need to pack all my stuff. So let me switch from this camera to my phone and I'll show you everything that I'm bringing along. All right, I'm shooting on the S26 Ultra right now just to show you everything that I'm bringing for this trip. This is my Canon EOS C50 with the Rode VideoMic 2. This is my main camera with a 14 to 35 millimeter lens. When it makes sense to, I'm gonna shoot as much as I can on this camera, but I've got the iPhone 17 Pro, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if most of the vlog is shot on this camera, and I'll explain why throughout the video. I decided to bring a drone just because I don't really ever put drone shots in my vlogs, but I thought it would be fun, especially if I have the time to take it up. So this is the DJI Mini 4 Pro. I got the 24-70 f2.8 just in case there are situations where I want a longer lens to get some, prettier shots. I have an ND filter here. For iPhone content, I got this iPhone tripod. It just uses MagSafe and, hold on, let me show you real quick. This basically just telescopes like this, boom, tap it on the ground. Now you have a tripod. It just connects like that. You can basically do overhead shots if you film food content. You can tip it up into the sky. There's a lot you can do with this thing. And they are very cheap and very easy to carry around because you literally, it's just a stick. This down here is the mini tabletop tripod that I will keep the C50 on. This is my first time using this, so I'm not endorsing it yet. I don't know how it's gonna go with this. Hopefully later on in the video, I'll have better intel on that. So this is everything I'm bringing here. I'm gonna try to shoot a lot on here, but realistically, a lot of this vlog, you're gonna see me shoot on the iPhone. So let me pack this up and we're gonna hit the road. Alright, so filming yourself in public is obviously never fun. It's weird to talk on the camera by yourself. It's not natural. But the thing is, people don't care. You're in your head more so than what is in their head, if that makes sense. Everyone's living their own life. Everyone's doing their own thing. People are just walking around. Nobody even knows that I'm doing this right now. And if they did see me with the camera, probably 90% of the time, they're not even going to approach me. One of the first things you need to get over is the thought that people actually care, because we're not that important. Everyone has their own lives they're living. Everyone's busy. No one actually cares what you're doing. And if they do, they literally have nothing going on in their life, so they have to project it on someone else. Can I do a spicy chicken and add pepper jack? Yep. I'm really trying to spice up this vlog, and hopefully it looks better because I'm shooting most of it on the C50. It's obviously not that convenient to shoot on a larger camera with the whole setup in most cases. So, I always tell people shoot with the nicest camera you have access to, or if you're shooting in situations like this, shoot with the camera that you're most comfortable with. For the most part, I never really shoot vlogs with this camera unless I'm at home because I hate taking it out in public. It's just not that easy to keep it, it's very obvious that I'm shooting a video of myself with this camera setup. I've got the whole rig going right here. It's obviously not that easy to be low-key with this setup, but yeah, shoot on the camera that you're most comfortable with, the camera that's going to be the easiest to get the shots that you need for a video. Welcome back to the vlog, baby. 10 years later. Alright, so made it to Elliott's. We are getting ready. We're about to leave right now. We have to go to Glendale, which is like an hour away. And it's 4 p.m., which is like the absolute worst time to be anywhere on the streets in Los Angeles. So we're gonna head there. I think we have to be there at like 6 or 6:30. That's when the festivities begin. All right, we just made it to Glendale. This is Elliott. He's been in the vlog before, by the way, about 10 years ago. This is Elliott, one of the first friends I met in Los Angeles back in 2015. Him and I have been all over the world together, filming music festivals, commercials, and he's definitely made an appearance on the channel in the past. I would highly recommend watching these vlogs from 2016 because it really shows how uncomfortable I used to be on camera. This is where the premiere is at. That's the movie we're watching. I have no idea how or why I got invited to this event, but we're here. By the way, I ended up ditching the full camera. I just felt like it was a bit obnoxious to pull up with a C50 to a theater for a screening that they probably do not want a large camera in. So we're shooting everything on the iPhone. All right, here is the projector, 70 millimeter. It's absolutely bonkers. Look at that.
I'll bring that up with you. Is Cody still around?
Go down and help them out with the projector. Turns out just a custodian closet.
Wow. What'd you think?
That was really cute.
11 out of 10.
That was really cute.
Did you fall asleep?
Twice.
Your eyes are a little glassy.
Yeah, I was a little tired.
He wanted to sit in the absolute middle of the spot. I get it. It was the best view. But I got pretty claustrophobic halfway through. Oh my gosh. This is Ryan Sheehy, and honestly, this entire moment is crazy because Ryan Sheehy is literally the first person that I met when I moved to Los Angeles, and he introduced me to Elliott. I shot some of my first projects with Sheehy when I moved to Los Angeles, so this crew has such a special place in my heart. What the heck? We ended the night grabbing a quick drink and just catching up because now that we're older, we're busy and we don't get to hang out anymore. So it was nice to be able to catch up, and it was definitely a great surprise.
Kart golf?
In the trees. I'm here at my buddy JD's house. He's out of town. I'm staying here for the night because it was easier for me to get some work done that I needed to do before the end of the day. Instead of driving home to Fresno would have taken me, I wouldn't have gotten home till like 6 p.m. So I'm gonna get some work done real quick and then let's chat a little bit about vlogging because we are at this point kind of at the halfway mark and there's a lot of stuff that can happen that could, you know, completely make you want to scrap the whole project or keep going. So I'll give you some tips and tricks on what you should do at this point to keep it moving. The thing with vlogging, especially early on, is you have to still, like, obviously live life around the vlog. Like, you're doing cool stuff or whatever you're vlogging, if it's a trip, a certain event you're doing, whatever the case is, you are doing that first and then vlogging second. But the thing with that, and especially if you are new to vlogging or doing content in general, is there are a lot of situations where you're going to want to put the camera down because you're uncomfortable or doesn't seem like it's something worth filming, whatever the case is. But what typically happens with this is you get through whatever you're doing and then you realize like, oh, I don't have enough footage to make a vlog. I kind of just ruined this. I'm just going to scrap it. Like, screw it. I'll do it next time. And then you never finish the vlog. So what I've found to be helpful is obviously just capture what is the most comfortable to capture. So like yesterday at the movie, I decided I'm just gonna take my phone because I don't want to carry around a full camera. It doesn't really feel like that kind of situation. All you have to do is capture those moments in a way that is the most comfortable for yourself, and then just tell the story later. What I do all the time is film things after the fact. Like, you may have not known this, but the clip at the beginning of this video where I'm getting ready to leave to drive to LA, at the point of shooting this right now, I have not even filmed that yet. One of the last things I did before I finished this video was film that after it actually happened. So don't feel like if you didn't capture enough in the moment that the video is just dead and you don't have enough to make a video. And then also, like, there's always a way to make a video more interesting, especially vlogging. So if you feel like there's something that you're doing that's interesting and you want to tell the story, you want to capture it, but you're not sure if it's worth making an entire video out of, there's always a way to turn it into a video that is worth putting out. For example, my last vlog, it's a vlog about me using the S26 Ultra for the first time, like out of the house. I knew that I wanted to document my work trip from San Francisco to Los Angeles because it was kind of a, a crazy trip, and I wanted to showcase what I was doing. I thought that was interesting, but I knew it was going to be really hard to make a full video just out of that. So a good way to fill that out and create a little more interest is to use that storyline of me using the S26 Ultra phone for the first time. And what that allowed me to do is just add in little bits and pieces about the phone throughout that video. And that kind of takes the pressure off of the content that I have to get to make a full video, because if I didn't capture enough in, a span of a few hours, I can just set the camera up like this, start talking about the phone. It's going to put the information out there that I'm trying to get, because obviously the premise of the video was about the phone. And then I was able to sprinkle in all of the stuff that I did capture. Same thing with this video here. I wanted to document my trip to Los Angeles to go to this movie premiere, but I knew that as a vlog in itself would be kind of boring. Like, it would be fine, but it'd be a 6-minute video and there wouldn't be much substance to it. So a lot of people want to shoot vlogs. So why don't I make a video where I help people make vlogs? And that's easy to do because I'm gonna go on this trip. I may as well vlog it. And I knew if I just capture what I can naturally capture during this trip and then add this talking portion here to talk about my tips and tricks, that was going to, be able to complete this video. I'm gonna get a little bit more work done here, and then let's talk about the camera gear that's helpful for vlogging. All right, I just finished the short form video that I had to do for the theater from last night's event. Just did a couple other work things, and now I'm trying to figure out the rest of my plan for the evening. I really want to get my drone up because I brought my drone and I thought it would be good to get some shots of LA while I'm here. When it comes to like getting shots for your vlog, for your videos, get shots that you have access to. Like, if you have a drone, cool, get drone shots if you can, if it makes sense to. I pretty much never put drone shots in my videos, but I'm just gonna do it for this one because I thought it could be cool. It's always nice to have an establishing shot of where you are, and it obviously spices up the production value, but it's definitely not necessary. It's just kind of a cool added benefit. And when it comes to gear with vlogging, people are always asking, what's the best camera to vlog with? What should I get for this? What should I get for that? If you're just starting out, your phone is going to be the best bet. Not only is this the easiest thing to film on, it's also the most comfortable. Using the front-facing camera to film yourself is incredibly easy. It's so much less crazy to have a phone talking to someone because it, for the most part, people just think you're on FaceTime if you're just talking to your phone. Grabbing clips, everyone is using their phone to film. Even if they're not filming videos, they're filming with their phone because they're, grabbing clips for personal use or whatever. This is so normal that no one's ever going to question. And also, if you're using a newer phone, whether it's the iPhone or an Android phone, the cameras are incredible, and they're also doing pretty much all of the heavy lifting for you. Your phone is doing so much with computer software, auto exposure, auto focus, everything is kind of happening there. So it's so much easier to point and shoot and get the great looking footage that you need for your videos. Of course, I'm saying this as I'm shooting on this like $4,000 setup. It's not that the price of the camera or the level of the camera is going to give you the best footage immediately. It gives you access to be able to get better footage, but there's so much more involved with getting that footage. So, for example, you get your phone and it's going to do everything for you. You just have to point at whatever you're filming and it's going to capture it. It's going to capture great audio, great footage. There's so much more that goes into getting a nice image on this camera. I have to manually set everything. I have to put the right lens on. I have to put a mic on top of it. I have to make sure all of the levels are properly set up. And then there are huge file sizes from shooting on this camera in most cases. So now I have to deal with processing those files and color grading those files. Like this is all just looking flat out of camera. You can see right here. I have to go in and do all of that in post. I'm a professional. I'm a cinematographer by trade, so I know how to do all of this stuff. And I don't want this to come across as like me saying, hey, you're not ready for this. All I'm saying is don't put added pressure on yourself, because making the video alone is already going to be pressure enough for you. So do it in the most comfortable and the easiest way possible. But if you do want to know what I'm shooting on currently, let me give you a quick breakdown. So the camera is the Canon EOS C50. This is one of their cinema line cameras that still has a small body on it. So it's not that big. It's basically like shooting on a mirrorless camera like an A7S or like an R5. The lens here is a 14 to 35 f4. I absolutely love this lens because it's very small and it's, you know, compact and easy to travel with. This is a Rode VideoMic Go 2, I think is what it's called. It's super cheap. It's kind of a entry-level shotgun mic for the most part, but it's incredibly light, it's tiny, and it sounds really good for what it is. So this is like the easiest setup to travel with, carry this around in my hand and not feel like I'm lugging around a huge setup. Now the tripod down here, I actually just got this tripod. This is from Siri, or I honestly don't know how to pronounce the name of this, but that's the model number there. This is just like a mini tripod that telescopes out so you can get it a little higher. So I have it setting up right here on this mantle, but let me show you this. The reason I got this, and I'm not fully sold on this yet, but basically the whole point of this is to have just a tiny tabletop tripod. So this is kind of in its smallest form. You can just set it down and it's miniature. The only downside is when it's like when the legs are as small as possible, there's not a lot of balance here. Like I don't know, it's kind of flimsy. I don't really trust it. So what I recommend is throwing the legs like that. I pick it up and I can easily vlog like this. It's kind of a heavy setup, but it's not the worst in the world. And then if I need to set it down, I can set it down here. It's on a ball head, so I can adjust the shot. And then now I have a cool vlog setup. Time to get a couple drone shots. All right, I'm in Silver Lake right now. I just Ubered here to go to a burger spot. I'm in the middle of like a super random place. I don't even have a place to sit. Just eating this burger out of the bag. Yeah, remember that thing about recording yourself in public? I'm doing it right now. No one's looking, no one cares. Of course, it's LA, so people are used to it, but it's not weird. So these are just some of the few things that I've found to be helpful when shooting vlogs. I've been shooting these, or at least attempting to shoot these, for years and years, over 10 years at this point, as you can see in those older videos that I posted. And over that time, you just have to kind of figure out what works best for you. Some of the stuff that I talked about in this video may not actually work for you. Some of them, maybe they will, but you have to really just go out and try it and figure out where your comfort level's at and what kind of tactics are going to be best so that you can actually fully execute these videos. But with everything, it just takes doing it to get better. You're never gonna get better if you just keep pushing it to the side and don't put them out. And that's exactly why I made this video, because I really want to be practicing what I preach, and I've been wanting to do more vlog content, and this was kind of like a challenge for me to actually put this video out and hopefully help a few people along the way. So again, I always appreciate you all watching these videos. I hope you found it helpful, and if you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 50,000. We're slowly getting up there, so I really appreciate the support. I hope this was helpful for you. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.